Demand globally for silver is continuing to accentuate on that level, on a much higher up level than just the retail, at a time when the exchanges are massively rehypothecated and will lead to a big problem at some point as deliveries, which is really the means by which these countries are pushing back, is standing for delivery, inability to deliver, a force majeure or whatever it is, and bang, just like that, it explodes. So when we talk about what it is, it's, to me, the phrase asymmetrical risk reward comes into mind, and that is super low downside, super high upside. To me, silver is the value of this generation.
Silver stands out as one of the world's most versatile and valued metals, performing the dual roles of a monetary and industrial metal. Historically, second only to gold in monetary value and popularity, silver also serves critical industrial applications, making it indispensable to modern life. It is a key component in jewelry, silverware, coins, solar panels, and electronics, such as cell phones, thanks to its unmatched thermal and electrical conductivity. Its antimicrobial and non-toxic qualities further enhance its utility in medicine and consumer products. Additionally, silver is the best-known reflector of visible light, making it ideal for mirrors, and its malleability and ductility allow it to be shaped into sheets or fine wires. Its photosensitivity plays a vital role in film photography, and its use extends even to defense technologies, with significant quantities employed in missiles and torpedoes. Silver prices often do not reflect the metal's intrinsic and practical value. This disparity raises questions about the market's evaluation of such a multifaceted and irreplaceable resource. Andy Schectman, a well-known bullion dealer and analyst, describes the current state of the precious metals market as being on the verge of a major shift, stating, "It's always darkest just before dawn." He highlights a significant connection between price manipulation by commercial banks and money managers, and the ongoing mass accumulation of gold and silver by central banks. Schectman explains that central banks are purchasing hundreds of tons of precious metals each month. At the same time, commercial banks are suppressing prices by maintaining substantial short positions, effectively enabling these central banks to buy at artificially low prices. This coordinated effort has kept the true value of metals like gold and silver hidden from the market. However, Schectman is optimistic that this manipulation is nearing its end. He anticipates a breaking point where these practices will cease, allowing precious metals to reflect their true market values, which he believes will be significantly higher than current levels. This, he asserts, will mark a turning point for investors in gold and silver. Stay tuned as we bring you exclusive clips from Andy Schectman's latest interview with Stacking Surfer. Don't miss his insights on the precious metals market and what could be a transformative moment for gold and silver prices. Make sure to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments and observations below. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the video.
Ultimately, the gold and silver argument is still very, very much in play. I wouldn't be nervous at all by the Trump euphoria. I think we should all be thankful that he has won the election, get our country back, at least from the standpoint of our culture, which is just ridiculous. It's been so stupid. It was too stupid to be stupid all along. All the things that we saw that are now changing course, like our glorious president who pardons his criminal son, is just absolutely pathetic. It's everything they've told us has been a lie. Well, we all knew that, but we were all vilified and deplatformed for having the nerve to say it. But it's emblematic of everything they stood for, a bunch of bullshit. And so to get our country back, that's amazing. That's fantastic. But ultimately, in terms of, look, even if we cut a couple trillion off the balance sheet, right? 2 trillion, let's say that the Doge is able to do. Well, you're still running a deficit at that rate of 1 to 2 trillion a year, not the 3 or 4. So Trump leaves office with a $41 or $42 trillion deficit, best case scenario. And that's why the Congressional Budget Office says, look, unless you're going to slash the entitlements that no one will slash, like Social Security, like Medicare, like Medicaid, like the veteran benefits and military pensions and all that kind of stuff. They're not going to touch that. Then in less than 3 years, or less than 4 years, about 3.5 years, they say that 100% of income tax revenue will go just to pay the interest on the debt and those mandatory entitlements. We're in essence crossed that line. And unless you want to create, a depression or literally a revolt, where you remember what the Rodney King riots were like. Well, imagine if all of these people woke up with no food stamps, no entitlements, no welfare checks, no unemployment checks, and you have people with, record credit card debt, lowest amount of savings, record indebtedness across the board, mortgage, auto, school loans, which is the largest asset of a bankrupt government. We're at a place where we're too far down the road unless they want to really create chaos by making those really, really hard decisions that they are not inclined to make. So you're going to see a government that will choose inflation over austerity, and inflation will only get worse, I believe. And so, yeah, gold and silver will have its moment. I think if they do a really bad job of things, you could see gold double digits. I mean, literally, you could see it 10, 12,000 and pegged to a new currency. I'm not saying it's going to happen over time. I'm not saying tomorrow, over time. And I think that's really what ultimately the Fed wants. It will benefit their balance sheet tremendously. If they do a good job, I still think you got Goldman Sachs saying, north of 3,500 by the end of the year. Bank of America saying the same thing. Buy on any weakness. You're hearing from Michael Hartnett at Bank of America. I mean, so I think people are confusing the optimism of having someone who wants to get our country back with the end of the gold and silver bull market. It's not, quite to the contrary. I think it's probably still just beginning, but there might be a little bit of a cooling off period, if you will, through the holidays. So wouldn't be the worst thing to do to sit back and wait, keep some powder dry and wait for that entry point. So, look, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say that I would expect by the first quarter of next year to see a very strong resumption of the trend in gold and silver going higher. And rightfully so. After people have lived through the nonsense that we have for the last 4 years, I think people are looking a little bit differently at their environment and looking at more of a risk-on place, a risk-on play in things like crypto and in stocks. But be careful. Markets don't go straight up. Markets don't go straight down. And one that is based on, I wouldn't call it irrational, but certainly exuberance is one to be careful about. So I guess we'll have to see, my man. But look, this is the whole premise of cost averaging, right? So you got money to put into gold and silver. You're not sure how it plays out. The only way to smooth out the uncertainty curve is to, cost average.
So if you have $100 to spend, break it into 5 trades at $20, and over a period of time, you will smooth out the uncertainty. Andy, do you see a sell-off in silver and everyday people because of the continuing increase of inflation? And what I might add to that is, are you seeing more people buying or selling silver? And did they ever give you guys explanations on why they might be selling to you? Well, I mean, if inflation is going higher, one would think silver would go higher as well. And
I think inflation will go higher. So too will the price of silver. So there hasn't been an awful lot of selling. I mean, there is some people usually are somewhat apologetic. I don't find there to be any need to be apologetic. That's what it's there for.